Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is our today second session on language development in school. And simply I'm calling it what school. Whether it's a junior school, whether it's a high school, or whether it's a higher secondary, college, even university. At every level, when you want to develop the language of students in a certain environment, I'm not talking about street language. I'm not talking about the language you get from your surroundings. Here specifically I'm talking about a systematic approach towards development of a language. Somebody saying that at family, mother and father both are speaking English and the child is learning that. I'm not talking about that. Clear? That is first language acquisition. I'm talking about language learning. Clear? In a certain environment, in a school. A short recap of the previous session. In previous session, at first we talked about that sentence, that whenever we say sentence, that sentence is always combination of, or sentence is made up of different chunks, and these chunks are there with are called what? Words, and these words are there with certain role. Clear? That we discussed in very much detail that it doesn't mean that when I'm saying that noun, clear, it will always be a noun. A noun can be there with some other role of adjective sometime. Noun sometime becomes what? Adjective. Sometime adjective becomes what? Noun. Clear? Sometime verb becomes what? Noun. Gerund. Sometime verb becomes what? Adjective. Participle. Got my point, G? That we define the role of some word, the type of some word according to what its role. Whatever role is, if it is a naming word, we call it what? Noun. If it is some action word, it is showing some action, we call it what? Verb. If it is some quality, we call it what? Adjective. Where if it is adding something into the meanings of verb or another adverb or another adjective or a whole sentence, then we call it what? Adverb. Mean to say that time we decided that we can't be fixed. We can't stick to certain lines that these are only nouns, these are only pronouns. That sometime a word is their pronoun in one sentence. For example, that relative pronoun. But the same that relative pronoun becomes conjunction in indirect speech. She told me that she would not come. In that case, that is not a pronoun, that is a conjunction. It means that pronoun sometimes also becomes what? Conjunction. Pronoun also sometimes becomes what? Adjective. For example, I need that book. Clear? Now that book, in this instance, that is what? An adjective. Clear? So mean to say that pronoun sometimes becomes what? Adjective. Pronoun sometimes becomes what? Conjunction. Pronoun sometimes becomes what? Pronoun itself. Clear? So we can't exactly define the lines. Always the role of that word defines its type. And what is that type? Which you call generally we use traditionally the used term what? Parts of speech or what? Grammatical categories. Got it? So we discussed that. After that we moved ahead that how to learn this sentence. Then we discussed that to understand a sentence or to learn a sentence, when somebody is talking to me and I am listening, or when some written material is that I am reading. This is my input. How would I understand what you are saying? How would I come to know? We simply said that through what? Helping verb and verb. But when I am talking to you, how would you get me? Clear? Basically, though the role of noun, pronoun, adjective, all parts of speech is there important, I am not at all negating its significance. We will discuss one by one. But basically, clear, our structure is based upon what? Helping verb and verb. Whatever you are trying to say, that my brain at first would demand that what helping verb and what action word you are using. Clear? Then I'll move towards the rest of the things, that who is doing it, what is being done, where is that being done, how is that being done. Rest of the questions come later. At first your mind demands what action is going on, not who is doing it. Clear? At first what action is going on. Clear? Then we said that to understand this one, G, clear, in a sentence, clear, there are different modes. Clear, what are the modes, G? We said that for second language users, there we talked about the difference between first language user and second language user. And we are here basically concerned with what is second language users, because our children are not native speakers. They are not getting English all the time in their surroundings. Okay? So that input mode basically is there through listening. When being a teacher, you are speaking in your classroom, or when some audio is there, some video is there, and children are listening. Clear? So they can get language, or they can understand language, or they can learn language, or they can improve language. Got it, Ji? Through listening. Clear? But this is considered a bit difficult, because listening is quick. Listening is quick. Everybody speaks, no? Clear? And speaks rapidly. Those certain statements, when being used repeatedly in a classroom, when the teacher is using repeated sentences, from that repetition, child can learn. Clear? Child can learn. I am not negating it. Clear? Even if not exactly learn, the child mimics it. Child acquires it. But other than this, see, the best tool which is considered to improve the language of children, that is what? Through reading. Because reading is constant there. Reading is still there. Clear? In reading, the child gets time to ponder over it. Clear? To explore it, to understand that. The teacher can use multiple strategies to develop language through reading. I am emphatically repeating that. This is considered to be the best strategy to develop language skills among students. Through what, Ji? Reading. Whether it's reading skill itself, with comprehension, with understanding, then writing skill itself, with what? Good expression, then listening skill, then speaking skill. It basically serves all and considered to be the easiest, the shortest, and the most effective way of developing language. What is our topic? How to develop second language or English language in school, clear, or junior school or high school, or in other word, in education system. I'm not exactly confining it to a specific level, as in last session we had been talking about from grade 1 to what, G? Higher level. It depends upon the situation. Clear? It depends upon the classroom. It depends upon the lots you are dealing with. Clear? It depends upon the students, their age, clear, or their academic level. According to the level, you can improve that. For example, if they are aware about the basics, then you can improve their basics. Clear? What is the improvement of basics? See, as I said that, then they have to learn that what's the real usage of a noun, what's the placement of an adverb, where to place adverb before something, or where to place an adverb after something, why to place adjective before a noun, and where to place adjective after a noun. That is what the advanced level. No? When their basics are good, they are aware that. Now they can construct a simple structure. Clear? Then how will they learn that what's the difference between a small farmer and farmer is small. Advanced level, they will come to know that there is a difference. What is the difference here? Here I am using adjective small before noun, and here I am using adjective small after noun. When to use before noun, when to use after noun, it changes meanings. A small farmer is different from the farmer is small. Got it? Small farmer is what, chi? Related to his height. That farmer is tiny, short-heighted. Am I clear? But when I'm saying farmer is small, now I'm not concerned with the height of farmer. I'm concerned now with the fields of farmer. That he is a low scale, not large scale, small scale farmer. Here it is small heighted farmer. And here is it what? Small scale farmer. Here his height is small. Here his fields are small. So if I am saying that just by listening I can get all the things, all the details of standard English, no. Clear? They also, even the native speakers also need to learn these differences. Clear? Another example, that only 2 questions, last time we discussed, that for example, Ali attempted only 2 questions. Only Ali attempted 2 questions. Ali only attempted 2 questions. All these 3 statements are correct, but different meanings. What is the difference? The placement of adverb only. I am using only at first instance before adjective to. Then I am using only before the whole sentence. Then thirdly I am using only before the verb attempted. So here I need to know that what's the importance of usage of this adverb at advanced level. Got my point? So mean to say that we'll try to cover all the levels. Though in the title of this video we mentioned that development of language in junior and high school or junior and school, but it could be for everybody. I'm trying my level best to cover all the levels depending upon the academic level of learners, whoever they are. Clear? And for whom? For teachers. That how will teachers improve their language? Clear? We are all here to learn that how will teachers improve their. Clear? So in that, when we have agreed to this point that reading is considered to be the best tool. Okay? In that, at first we talked about what? Finite verbs. Which verbs? Finite verbs in a sentence. I'm going for the recap, and I'm repeatedly saying this is the recap of the previous session. And then we discussed how many finite verbs are there, basically 24, which even came out of 9. There is a whole video on the channel. You can watch that. That learn or improve English through just 9 structures. What is there in these structures? What is the difference? The difference of helping verb and verb form. Somewhere verb form is first, somewhere second, somewhere third, somewhere fourth. Clear? Somewhere helping verb is am, somewhere helping verb is was were, somewhere helping verb is will be, will shall be. Got it? Somewhere it is has have, somewhere it is had. We discussed in detail that number 1, to basically understand a structure, clear, we need to understand what? Finite verbs. As we discussed in detail that every language or majority of the languages are structural. Clear? Our languages are based upon structure. So when we say that teaching of English, that generally 3 methods are used. GTM method, grammar translation method, structural method, or situational method. I am going for the combination of all of those. Clear? I'm mixing them all with their positivities. Wherever I'm finding that which one is suitable, clear, I'm combining it. And here make it clear that we are not supposed to translate the text for them. No. While translating, we are supposed to develop their language. Clear? The teacher is not supposed to translate the lines for him. The teacher is supposed to enable the children comprehend the lines, not translate, comprehend the lines. Clear? On their own. In that we discuss sometimes about finite verbs are important. For example, Ali sells cars. Ali sells cars. For example, if I am saying that what's the business of Ali? What is Ali? What does he do? I am saying he sells cars. It is his business, automobiles. But sometimes we said that infinites are also there with their own importance. Clear? In that we talked about infinitives, gerunds and participle. And we said that infinitives and gerunds can be there replaceable. Got it, she? That for example, Ali goes there somewhere to study. This is also important. To explain the purpose of his going. Clear? Ali goes. Goes is what? A finite verb there. Clear? We discussed in detail. I'm not going in a previous session. Why is it goes? Why is it finite? Clear? And study. But I can also say that Ali goes there for studying. For studying. Though there's a rule there. If the previous verb is transitive, then we use gerund. If the previous verb is intransitive, then we add what? Infinitive. But I'm not going into that detail. Here I mean to say that both can be used. And they are there with their importance. And third one, this one, first one is what? Infinitive. Second one is what? Gerund. When verb is performing the role of a noun. And somehow, somewhat, infinitive is also performing the role of a noun. With very much authenticity saying that. Which we call in Urdu master, that this one is master. And master is what? Clear? The originating word of a noun. Got it? So somewhat I can say that both are serving the purpose of a noun. But participle is what? That is, it becomes what? Adjective. It becomes what? Adjective. Clear? Here we use but ing form. In participle we use both third and fourth form. We discussed in detail. Now, and you also practice what text there. Once again I am going for the text now for the audience who would be watching the video. That here, now look at this, the importance of infinite. In this example, what is important? This finite verb. But what about this one? The car is there. The car is there to be sold. Now what is the finite verb here? Is. Finite verb is what? Is. Now what do you think? This one is more important or to be sold is more important? Which portion of the sentence is giving you the real information? To be sold. I'm not negating it. I'm not saying that this is not important. Am I clear? But I'm saying that when you are talking about the concerned information, if I ask you that why is that car there? Why is that car there? Clear? And you are saying that the car is there to be sold. That's a showroom. That is some shop. Got it? So the car is there to be sold. It is for selling purpose. Now which portion of the sentence is more important? Finite or infinite? Here in this instance, infinite is important. Clear? I want this garbage to be thrown out. Now which part is important? I want the garbage or to be thrown out? To be thrown out. Now to be thrown out is what? Infinitive. It is what? Infinite. It is what? Infinite. And in that infinite, it is what? Infinitive. As a whole, these are three. As a whole, we call them infinites. Then further infinites are there of three types: infinitive, gerund, or participle. Got my point, ji? I may repeat the example when I am saying, ji, I want that garbage. Clear? Will you bring that garbage to me? Because I want that garbage? No. My sentence is not complete. My sentence is not complete unless I add infinitive with it. What, ji? To be thrown out. To be thrown out. We're not in the street, in dustbin. Now ji, go for practice. Ji. That, look at the example. Ji. You can see it here, ji, on screen. The aroma of freshly baked bread. Ji. Clear? Aroma, fragrance of. Clear? Freshly baked bread. Look at this now. I'll not go for all this aroma or freshly or adverb or whatever. At the moment I'm concerned with what? Finite and infinite. To understand a sentence. When I am understanding it clearly, I'll be able to use it confidently. Got my point? This is language development. Being a teacher, make it clear that these sessions are basically for the teachers. How to work upon the language of children or students. Clear? Even grown-ups. G. Baked bread. G. That usually, that ed form is there. What? G. Verb form. Clear? That is past form or past participle form of the verb. Second form or third form of the verb. Clear? That baked bread. G. That can I say that this baked is a verb here? Though it is a verb, but performing the role of an adjective. For example, good bread. Got it? Fresh bread. Fresh bread. So here it is what? Baked bread. So baked is what? A participle here. Participle for what? Bread. Bread is a noun and baked is being used as an adjective. So when verb performs the role of an adjective, that is what? Participle. So we need to give the students the difference. That mostly people stick to this idea that wherever certain verb is there with ed form, that is a verb. That is a finite verb. Clear? So this is not the finite verb. This is what? Participle. Adjective. Baked bread. That baked bread wafted through. Now look at this. What is the verb here? Wafted. If I'm saying a baked had been the verb, don't you think that it's causing confusion that then if baked is the verb, then what is wafted? Wafted means moves smoothly, moved. Don't you think that it seems clashing? That within a clause there is only what? One finite verb. Not normally generally in general concept, clear that from bottom level to higher level. That normally in a single sentence there is a single action word now. Look at this. These are two verbs. If baked is verb, then what is wafted? If wafted is verb, then what is baked? So the real action is being depicted through what? Wafted. Wafted means moved. Clear? That moved slowly or smoothly. Clear? Moved. What moved? This is what we said that. Now it means that finite verb is what? Wafted. So baked is what? Infinite verb. Baked is what? Infinite. And which infinite verb? Participle. What is it? Participle. Now we last time discussed that to develop their language skills, we always raise these questions. That who moved? What moved? Where to where? At what time? Am I clear? Okay, wafted means moved. Who moved? Search it from the text. Aroma. Clear? Aroma. Fragrance. Got my point? That smell, good smell. Good smell moved ji. Smell of what? Freshly baked bread. Are you noticing that I'm breaking it into chunks? I'm breaking it into chunks. This strategy is called parsing ji. This is called what? Parsing. And parsing is considered to be the best strategy for skimming a text. We are working on both the strategies. We are also working on what? Skimming. I'm doing what? I'm skimming information out of text. I'm not translating it. I'm skimming information out of it. Not I'm skimming. I'm making students skim the information. I'm just raising questions. I'm just raising questions. I'll not give them the answers. Here we are teachers, we are practicing it, we are learning it. But in classroom, clear, in language classroom, once again I'm saying that from bottom to top level, whatever level it is. Clear? You can go for what? Both these strategies. On one hand, I'm doing what? Skimming. This is called skimming text. I'm extracting language and facts, information, both at a time. How language? I got what? Action word. That usually it happens if you make the graph. How do we people go for it for any text? How do we do it? That usually we start comprehending it from the very beginning. This is wrong. Am I clear? I'm doing it from where? Wherever I'm finding what? Action word. Then I'm coming back. Then I'm going forth. Got my point? This is the proper way of skimming. That I took a start from where? Finite verb. Then I raised a question. To find out the answer to this question, had you not to come back to the beginning of the line? Yes or no?
Yes.
You had to come, na? You had to go back now. That when I'm saying wafted, when I'm saying what wafted or who wafted, you said what? Aroma. Then I raise the next question. Aroma of what? Freshly baked bread. Freshly baked bread. That aroma moved. Aroma moved where? My man, you will find it out. Aroma moved where? Through the open kitchen window. Clear? This is not the answer to where. This is the answer to how. I am asking you that this aroma or this fragrance or this smell moved where? Find it out. Move to society, move to community, move to whole block, move to some classroom or move to some girl, move to some boy. Move to whom? Okay, let me change my question, not where. Move to whom? You're right. Move to Sarah. Move to Sarah. Am I clear? Through what? Through open kitchen window. How? Enticing Sarah. How? Enticing Sarah. In Montessori principles you studied. One of the principles was what? Entice the child. Am I clear? That provoke, invite. Got my point? Attract. Now enticing. We have studied in finite verbs. What is enticing? Fourth form of the verb. ing form. ing form. Is this enticing a verb? Number one thing that whenever I am using this ing form, always it is there with certain helping verb before it. Do remember for both third form and ing fourth form. These two forms can never be there without any helping verb before them. Whenever I am using third form, there will be a helping verb before it. Whenever I'm using ing form, there will always be helping verb before it. Is there any helping verb before it? No. So sign number 1 is that it's not a verb. It's not a verb, or it's not a finite verb. It is what? Infinitive. It is what? Infinitive. And which infinitive ji? Enticing Sara ji. Participle. Am I clear? What is it? Participle. Are you noticing that? That what is the real verb? Wafted. In other words, baked. But baked was what? Participle. Now enticing. Once again it is what? Participle. Are you getting my point? When you are actually giving them the concept of finite verbs, in those finite verbs you talked about ing form. You talked about third form of the verb. Clear? Specifically at lower level, children get confused. That you already told them that ing is what? For continuity, for progressive. Progression. Progressive action. Ji. Got it? Ji? So when you are giving them the idea that other than finite verbs, sometimes these verbs also serve certain other purpose. This verb is serving the purpose of what? Adjective. This verb is once again serving the purpose of what? Adjective. That enticing Sara, that fragrance. Who was enticing Sara? That aroma. Aroma of what? Freshly baked bread. Hunched over her cluttered desk. Ji. Now Sara ji. Are you getting something about Sara? What is Sara doing? Hunched over. Clear? That once again ed form. That usually, that for second language learners, we usually tell them wherever ed form is there, either it will be what? Third form of the verb or second form of the verb. Got my point? Ji? Sara hunched. Ji. Sara hunched over. Look at this now. Ji. Once again this hunched. What is it? Is it a main verb? It's what? Participle. Which Sara? Tall Sara. Small Sara. Got it? Good Sara. Nice Sara. Hunched Sara. Hunched is what? When you put your elbows on some desk or you're in some table. When you bend over some table. That is called what? Hunched. Hunched is a sitting position. Hunched is a sitting position. As you are doing now, ji. You are hunched over what, ji? This table. This desk. Got it, ji? So it means to say that participle sometimes comes before noun and participle sometimes comes after noun. Sara, which Sara? Who was hunched? Who was hunched over? Bent over. Bent over what, she? Her cluttered desk. Look at this now. That hunched over desk. Now which desk? Good desk, bad desk, small desk, big desk. All these are what? Good, bad, small, big. All these are what? Adjectives now. So obviously cluttered is also what? Adjective. Even if I don't know the meaning. Clear? But I'll get some idea that cluttered is something, some sort of desk. Cluttered means that filled with. Clear? Messed up with. Clear? Spread with. That her desk was spread with. When you are working, usually your desk is spread with what, she? Papers, books, notes, whatever you are doing. Got my point, she? Is that clear? So once again, cluttered here is what? Is it performing the role of a finite verb? No. It's performing the role of what? Infinite. And which infinite? Participle. Are you noticing something? That up till now, only main verb, finite verb was what, she? Wafted. Rest of the verbs are what? Look at this now. Number 1, baked, participle. Number 2, enticing, participle. Hunched, participle. Cluttered, participle. Are you noticing that? without giving the students knowledge of all that, they can never learn complete English. They'll get confused that from where to get meanings and from where not to. Clear? From where to get meanings mean that real meanings we get from finite verb. All the other things are extra information. All the other things are extra information. Clear? How? We'll go for it in the end. Let me complete it. That to abandon her studies. What is to now here? Infinitive. What is it? To abandon. As I said now, that I go there to study. I go there to study. Got my point? She goes there to study. That's why we call them infinite now or infinitive now. Because these have no impact of the number of subject. Number of subject. Now to abandon. To abandon, one abandon is what she? With you. That is for profusion. That is for profusion. That is for large amount. That eating material is there in abundance. Food is there in abundance. It means that in large number. This is what she? A-B-A-N. Abandon. To mean stop. To abandon. To stop. Her studies. Stop her studies. Now make it simple. Aroma wafted out of window, kitchen window. Clear? To abundant studies of Sarah. What is the real statement? The aroma of bread, clear, wafted through window to abandon the study of Sarah by enticing her. By enticing her. For example, you are working and you are focused and you are getting aroma of what is some meal. What would you do? Obviously, you will leave your studies and go to, specifically ma'am, in your case, can she sacrifice the meal for studies? No. In her case specifically, I can bet. She will simply throw out everything and try to grasp whatever is available. Are you getting my point? So what was the real statement there, Ji? That the fragrance of, aroma of bread, clear, was enticing Sarah to abandon her studies, or was forcing Sarah to stop her studies. This was the real statement. Clear? But this English is there by what? Some professional writer. No? By what? Some professional writer. No? But to understand this, don't you think that the language learner needs the information of what? Infinites. And usually this is the mistake we commit. We just keep translating the things. Got my point? But we don't go for the differences of all the things. Look at count the number now. Number one, baked participle. Then enticing participle. Participle, cluttered participle. How many participles are there? 3, 4? 4 participles. Then to abandon, infinitive. Am I clear? Other than finite verb, there are 5 infinites. So without understanding these infinites, can you, number one, understand the language? No. Secondly, can you, number two, speak the language or write the language to make somebody else understand? No. Clear? The better, clear, you understand infinites, the better you would use them while speaking or while writing. Am I clear up till here? Go for the next sentence. Ignoring the tempting fragrance. Now what is ignoring? ing form, as I told you that there is a confusion between gerund and participle, because gerund is also ing form and participle is also ing form. Clear? The simple way, as I told you, that when in Urdu, for example, in Urdu, I am using na, ne, ni, that is what gerund. Am I clear? Khana. Clear? Khane ke liye. I went there to eat. Yeah, I went there for eating. That's why we can replace gerund with infinitive. Got my point? And whenever I'm saying karte hue, khate hue, chalte hue, that is what participle. That is a general way. But specifically, when verb is performing the role of a noun, that is what gerund. And when verb, and gerund is always ing form. And when verb performing the role of an adjective through third form or through fourth form, that is called what? Participle. Now check it in both. Ignoring the temping. Can I say ignoring is here a verb? Can you start a sentence with a verb ing form? No. That usually we can start a sentence with verbs first form. With verbs first form. But where? In imperatives. In imperatives. For example, what is it? The word ignoring. For example, ignore it. Ignore it. For example, you are complaining about her, and I am saying what she, or about something, some noise. I am saying what? Ignore it. That we take a start, clear, or we start a sentence through verbs first form. But have you ever seen in English language that starting a sentence with verbs ing form? Ignoring. Am I clear, Ji? That ignoring is becoming what? Noun, because it's becoming a subject here. It's becoming a subject here, and subject is usually what? Noun or noun family. What is noun family? Pronoun or adjective. Ignoring the next, see, tempting fragrance. Fragrance is what? Aroma. Fragrance is what? Aroma. As I told you that sometimes you need not to. Don't make the students consult dictionary all the time. Let them extract the meaning from context. Most of the time you can get the meaning of those words from context. Got my point, Ji? Look at this now. Here it was what? Aroma. Now you are getting a synonym of that. What is fragrance? And which fragrance, Ji? Good fragrance, bad fragrance. Fragrance is usually not bad. Clear? That is what? Sting. Clear? But generally I am saying that what is it, Ji? Tempting fragrance. What is tempting, Ji? Seducing. Tempting is what? Seducing. Clear? Whatever makes you derailed, whatever distracts you. Tempting, distracting. Now distracting is what, Ji? Becoming what? Participle. Ignoring is what, Ji? Sorry, it was not gerund. Ignoring was what? Participle. Ignore karte hue. Ignoring what? Distracting aroma. She continued. From where the real sentence begins now? She continued. She continued. I'm not going for the phrase, which type of phrase this is. Ignoring the tempting fragrance. This comes into the answer of what? How. And how is what? Adverb. This one is adverbial phrase. We'll discuss in detail, Ji. That what's the role of adverb there? How to make all this language clear? How to combine all these chunks? Are you noticing now we are divided language into what? Chunks. When you join back these chunks, see, this becomes what? Language. But the basic chunk is what? Verb. Even if you ignore all the things. But when you are learning, you are supposed to learn them. Real sentence begins from here. She continued. What is the action word here? Continued. Clear? Guess. What did she continue? Stitching? Sewing? What was she doing? Gigi, you are right. Studies. Was she wrestling? a smile. Was she wrestling? She was busy with what previously? Studies now. Clear? Let's try to comprehend that. Clear? Will you take this wrestling literally? She was not a wrestler. Got it? This is metaphorically they are saying that she continued what she? Wrestling. Though wrestling means fighting. She continued now what? Wrestling. Now what is this wrestling? If continues is a verb, then ing is there or not? To wrestle is also a verb. To wrestle is a verb. Continued is main verb. Continued is what? This is finite verb. And as I said that in a clause, usually, or in a sentence, or to convey one sense. Make it clear. We don't study grammar to learn language. From language we can understand grammar. Am I clear? This is a mistake we had been doing. Grammar is to understand the language. Grammar is not to learn the language, or grammar is not to make the language. We are not language makers. We are not language makers. We are language users. We learn the usage of that thing. Where to use that? Where to use participle? Are you learning now, na? That how to use participle within a sentence. What was the simple sentence? That aroma was what? Distracting Sarah. Aroma was distracting Sarah. This was a simple sentence. What was the extra detail in that? The aroma entering through window. To beautify the language, na? To beautify the expression, na? To lengthen the expression, na? To make the expression more attractive. Na? Okay, look at this now. Continue. Now when I am saying wrestling, can I also call a verb? Can there be two verbs at a time? Clear? She continued what? Eating. So eating would be what? Participle or gerund? Think about it. Ma'am. Gerund. Clear? She continued eating. Khana. Got it? Wrestling. Wrestle. Karna. Just joking. Sorry. Do you have something in your bag? Then how do you live? Can you live without that? It seems to me like a fish. As if fish is out of water and trying to live. When you are there without some food, it seems to me as if fish is out of pond. Ji bache, this is what she? Infinite. And which infinite? Gerund. Okay, ji. Wrestling, ji. Wrestling with what? Complex math problem. That she was actually wrestling means she was struggling. She was struggling. Can I take the literal meaning of or denotative meaning of wrestling here? No. I'll go for what? Connotative meaning. I'll go for what? Connotative meaning. Here wrestle mean what? Study. Here wrestle mean what? Struggle. That she was struggling with what? She maths problem. How? She continued struggling with maths. How? Find it how? Ignoring the tempting fragrance. Ignoring the distracting fragrance. She ignored the aroma of breath and focused on her studies. Okay, ji. Her brow furrowed. That usually, this is furrow. A furrow is basically a line in fields. No? Her brow furrowed means that knitted. As a sign of this is facial expression. No? That brow was what? Furrowed. Brow was there with certain lines. As you make the lines, got it, she? That, what does it show? That she was tense. She was tense. It shows what she? Tense situation. Means that they also mentioned that complex math problem. Okay ji, her brow furrowed in concentration ji. Now what is furrowed here ji? Is it a finite verb or is it participle? Participle. Or in other words, we can say that with a furrowed brow. Now join it ji. With a furrowed brow, she kept struggling with complex maths problem, ignoring the fragrance of bread. Are you noticing that? I'm going reverse. I'm going reverse. Look at this sheet. That with furrowed brow, clear, in concentration, she kept wrestling or she kept struggling with complex maths problem, ignoring the distracting aroma of bread. So what is the real sentence here? She ignored the aroma of bread and she focused on her studies. She continued her work with studies. In simple words. This is a beautiful sort of language now. This is a strong expression now by some professional writer now. Clear? But we are actually working upon what? The development of the language of what? Language learners. Which learners? L2 learners. So these are what? Samples. Whatever is there in text, whatever is there in newspaper, whatever is there in reader, clear? We are not supposed to translate that for them. We are supposed to give them what? A language sample. This is what? A language sample. This is not there. And usually what happens? We translate a story for them and we ask them to what? Learn the summary of the story by heart. Learn the question answers of these by heart. Okay? Is this the real purpose? No. The real purpose is just to give them an idea that if a professional writer is using a language, clear, in a beautiful manner, using both finite and infinite, how can you beautify your language by adding infinites? As I told you, that in simple, if I'm just focusing on finite, what would be the finite sheet? That aroma of bread was enticing Sarah, full stop. Sarah was busy with her studies, full stop. Sarah ignored the fragrance of bread, full stop. Sarah continued her studies. I did what? I just focused on what? Finite verbs. I just focused on finite verbs. And the writer used what? Combination of finite and infinite. This also helps what? This is also called sentence synthesis. How to synthesize. That instead of using multiple sentences, you can use single statements by adding infinites. By adding infinites. Up till now, how many finite verbs we had? Wafted, then continued. Got my point? Just two, na? Just two, na?
Yes.
The writer used what? Two. But to rephrase that, how many did I use? 5. I used 5 or 6 sentences to express the same thing. I may repeat. What was the first one? That aroma of the bread was enticing Sarah. Number 2. Sarah was hunched over the desk. Clear? Number 3. Sarah was busy with complex math problem. Number 4, that Sarah ignored the fragrance of the aroma of bread. Clear? And number 5, Sarah continued to work on maths problems. I used how many? 5. He used how many? 2. Clear? This is called what? Synthesis. To synthesize. Clear? This is for both to synthesize and to beautify the expression. So you are developing what, Chi? Language. Got my point? The majority of our students, Chi, usually for your kind information, when notes are given, I am very much again that notes must be banned, Chi. Notes means that my personal hints. They are students are given with what, Chi? Notes, Chi. Mostly notes. Who makes notes? Teacher. And teacher is also a professional person. Professional, if not the professional writer, at least he is professional. No? That students what she try to learn all this by heart. Is it useful? By doing this, are you serving the cause of developing language? No, not at all. On the other hand, what we are doing, what we are trying to learn, that we will tell them that this is by a professional writer. You can use it in future. Got my point? That you can add infinites with finites for two purposes: to synthesize language and to beautify your expression. Got my point? Move ahead, Chi. What is going on next, Chi? Sighing in frustration. Once again, look at this, Chi. Sighing is what, Chi? Participle. Sigh is what? To exhale. To what? Exhale. To take a long breath. Sometimes it could be breath of relief, sometimes breath of what? Tension, stress, as we do now. This is what? Sighing. As we do what? This is what? Sighing. Sighing, Ji. In frustration. Sighing in. So this means that this is not relief. This is what? Stress. Sighing in frustration, Ji. Sighing in frustration. Can we call sighing as a verb? What is the syntactic sign of sighing that it's not a verb? Who will tell me? Number one, G, it is in the beginning of sentence. And number two, it is with no helping verb. It is with no helping verb, because usually ing form takes what? Helping verb. Or modal or auxiliary or whatever, or linking, whatever you call it. Is sighing. Clear? Will be sighing, might be sighing, have been sighing. Clear? Was sighing. Is there some such sort of situation? No. Sighing is here what? She? Participle. In frustration. She pushed now. Now it means that this participle is being used for whom? She. Clear? Now what is the real verb? Finite verb. Pushed. Now we got once again the third finite verb. Pushed. Who pushed? She. In what state? She pushed. In what state? Sighing in frustration. Sighing in frustration. She pushed what? She pushed back from the desk. What does it mean? She pushed herself. She pushed herself back. This reflexive pronoun is missing here. She pushed herself back. We'll go for it. The importance of pronoun. She pushed herself back from desk. Her muscles stiff from sitting. Her muscles stiff. Clear? Stiff? Hard. Her muscles got stiff. Her muscles were stiff. Tightened. From sitting. Now look at this, G. What is sitting here, G? Another simple sign that basically preposition is used for noun or pronoun. From is a preposition or not? So preposition is obviously being used for what? Noun. And sitting is a pure noun? No. We are getting this noun from verb. And whenever verb is performing the role of a noun, that becomes what? Gerund. So this is gerund. Sitting for hours. Her muscle stiff. What does it mean? Her muscles were stiff. Her muscles were stressed, tightened. Because of what? Sitting for hours. Deciding Ji. So what was the real sentence? Now I am rephrasing it. Ji, I am a learner. That she pushed her back from the desk. Clear? Because she was tired. She was tired. Her muscles were stiff because of sitting long. Because of sitting so long. This is what she, the simple rephrasing of that. Next, see, deciding a short break. Once again, Ji, what is deciding? Participle. Is it a verb? No. Participle is becoming what? Adjective. Deciding a short break wouldn't hurt. No, sorry. Look at this deciding. This is not participle now. It's not being used for some noun. It is becoming what? Subject. Now this is itself a noun. Itself a noun. Deciding a short break. Okay, remove deciding. Just stick to what? Short break. Short break wouldn't hurt. Now what is short break? Subject or not? And what is the real subject? Noun. Clear? Boy wouldn't hurt. What is boy here now? Boy wouldn't hurt. What is boy? A noun now. Girl wouldn't hurt. Is it what? A noun. Am I clear? So, deciding a short break wouldn't hurt. This is also a what? Noun now. This whole is what? From deciding to break, this is all a phrase. We'll talk about it, the phrases and clauses. But deciding is becoming what? A noun. As we discussed, smiling is good. Now what is smiling here? Noun. So deciding is also a noun. Means it's a gerund. It's not a participle. It's a gerund. Clear? Deciding a short break or deciding a break. Clear? Deciding this respite wouldn't hurt. Now what is the structure here? Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt. This is the finite verb. Sarah grabbed. Thinking so. A short break wouldn't hurt. This is what? A thinking. She is thinking in her mind. She is telling herself. She is telling herself because she got dominated by what? Aroma of bread. Aroma of bread. At first, she tried to refrain herself. She tried to abstain. She wanted to continue. But then she decided that a short break wouldn't hurt. This was going on in his mind. A real sentence starts from here. Sarah grabbed her worn yoga mat. What is the real sentence? Sarah grabbed. Sarah clutched. Sarah held. Hold, held. Hold this pen. This is a verb, first form. Clear? Sarah held. Sarah grabbed. Are you getting a point? So the real sentence is this one, or real utterance or real meaningful utterance is this one. Sarah held her worn. What is now worn? Old. Got it, she? Too much used. Got my point? Worn. Worn out from wear. This is what? Participle. Worn is what? Participle. Yoga mat. She had what? Yoga mat. Mat like that. Am I clear? That sitting mat. She held mat and had it. What is the next verb here? Had it. What was the main finite verb here? Grabbed. Next finite verb is what? Had it. Had it means position towards, faced towards, outside. She moved outside. She took her yoga mat and she went outside. Now what is it? Deciding a short break wouldn't hurt. Isn't it extra? This is extra, no? Clear? This is what? What? A gerund. So when it is gerund, na, got it? That this whole part is becoming what she? That extra. Real sentence starts from here. Sarah grabbed her mat and Sarah went outside. Sarah took her yoga mat and she went outside. It means that she was in a mood to go for what? Some yoga. Stepping onto the soft grass. Stepping, participle. Entering. Entering the door. I called her. I called her. Stepping inside. I knocked. Am I clear? Step in करते हुए. Got it? Don't use mobile while driving. Or while driving, don't use mobile. That is what? Participle. Stepping. It's not a verb. Onto the soft grass. Clear? While moving forward onto the soft grass, she took. What is the verb here now? She took. So now what is the real sentence? She took. She took what? A deep breath. She took a deep breath. She inhaled and exhaled. Clear? Like yoga exercises. Of crisp morning air. She took a deep breath of what? Crisp morning air. Fresh morning air. Fresh morning air. Feeling. Now what is feeling? Mamunaza. What is the main verb here in this sentence? What is the main verb here? Very good, took. She took na. She took what? She took what? It is written here. Namasha. Very good. She took a deep breath. She took a deep breath. This is the real sentence. This is the real sentence. She took a deep breath. Deep breath of what? You will raise this question. This is not a classroom. That's why I'm dealing with teachers. Make it clear. I told you that I'm doing it myself. No, this is wrong. You'll ask them. Took is what? Action word. Who took? She. Who is she? Sarah. She took what? A deep breath. Deep breath of what? Morning crisp air. When? Search it. When? When? Ayman. I'm Nakhla.
When she went outside.
Stepping onto the soft grass. Give me the exact line from here. Stepping onto the soft grass. Am I clear, ji? Got my point? Then what happened, ji? When she took a long breath, what happened? Feeling the tension. What is feeling here now? Participle. Feeling the tension. Slowly melt away. Feeling the tension slowly melt away. Am I clear, ji? What is the verb here? Participle now here. Feeling. Now what is the melt here? Who will tell me? Chocolate of the day. G. What is melt away here? Is it finite or is it infinitive?
Finite.
How? How? Is it participle or is it finite verb? Is it the past form of verb or is it becoming infinite? G. Very good. This is what? Participle. Clear? That what was the main verb? She took a long breath. Look at this. She took a long breath. When entering, when feeling, when melting away. Melting away. All these are what? Extra things, na? What is the real thing? What is the real sentence? She took a long breath. Clear? Now all the other things are extra or not? Extra or not? As I told you that, always remember that main finite verb is, main situation is one. Main action is one. Main action is one. What is the real action? Took a deep breath. Rest of the things are extra. And when the rest of the things are extra, the simplest way to understand that all these would be what? Infinites. Sometime gerund, sometime infinitive, sometime participle. Is it some second action? If you are trying to link this action with what? Tension. You wanted to say that tension melt away. She felt the tension melting away. She felt the tension melting away. Though it is written melt away, but it means that melting away. I saw the girl going away. I saw the girl leaving the house. Yeah, I saw the girl left the house. Are you getting a point? Don't get confused. Sometimes they use in participle third form, but with the meaning of what? ing form. As I told you that participle is in both now, third form and ing form. You got confused by melt. You thought that melt is the second form of the verb, and its subject is what? Tension. The tension melt away. No. Now take the whole sentence. She took a long breath. How? Watching the girl leaving the house, or watching the girl left the house. Is there any difference? Are both same or not? Got it? Am I clear? Next, see. Now you got 10 minutes to extract all the finite and infinite verbs from the given text. Okay, ji, as you have all done it, ji, or shortly, ji. What is it? Ji? As she began, begin is what? Finite verb. Clear? Flowing through, ji. Clear? Flowing is what? Gerund. Begin is a verb, flowing is a gerund, because it's becoming object here. Through a series of yoga poses, ji, the rhythmic chirping of birds filled. What is the verb? Filled. Clear? In short words, as I mean to say, when children are, when students are, when learners are, clear, facing this text, in the beginning they face problem. This is written, no? Imagine if it had been what? Oral. Imagine if it had been spoken. Would you be able to understand that? If in writing mode, it is still in front of you, you can analyze it. If in written material you are facing problem, imagine about listening material. Would you be able to analyze this text? The real purpose is here what she began. She began what? Yoga exercises. When she began yoga exercises, what happened? Chirping of birds filled the air. Birds started chirping. Birds started chirping. I am rephrasing that in simple words. Because what is the main verb here? Began. The real next main verb is what? Filled. Clear? Chirping is now here what? Participle. Chirping is what? Participle here. Calming. Counterpoint to the earlier stress. What is calming here? Once again participle. Clear? Now chirping of the bird is being explained more. by a professional writer. Clear? That chirping of word A is basically what? Diffusing or suspending the previous stress. What was the previous stress? Stress of maths. Stress of maths. Now the moment she started yoga, what happened is birds started chirping, and now the writer is saying what she? A calming counterpoint to the. What is a counterpoint? Clear? A confrontation. Clear? A blockage or a diffusion. It is diffusing. The chirping of word is diffusing to what she earlier stress. What was the earlier stress? We comprehended that. Mathematics. Complex mathematics problems. Got it, she? So this is extra information. No? Now language development. What is language development? That for my students, for my learners, I'll tell them that you are supposed to focus on what she, the real statement. What is? She began yoga. Birds started chirping. Clear? So the chirping sound of word actually became the cause of solace. Or chirping sound of birds actually diffused, diminished. Am I clear? That diffused the impact of previous stress means she became calm. She became calm. Or chirping of the birds proved to be what? Soothing. Proved to be what? Soothing. Maths was stressing, and chirping of bird is what? Soothing, along with yoga. Lost in the movement. What is lost now here once again? Participle. Lost, absorbed. Absorbed in the movement. Sara found ji. Once again, the real sentence is what? Sara found. Found is what? Finite verb, real verb, main verb. Clear? But what is extra there? Absorbed. Busy. Clear? Busy with what? Movement. Movement of what? Yoga movement. Sara found her focus sharpening. Clear? Previously, Sara was unable to focus. What was the reason? One reason, what was she? Aroma. Aroma what? Bread. Clear? She couldn't focus. Now, when she went for yoga exercise, along with that soothing effect of chirping of birds, now the focusing ability of Sara got increased. From where I got this point, G? Sara found. Found is the verb. She found what, G? Focus, sharpening. Sharpening is what, G? Participle. Sharpening focus, increasing focus, or focus sharpening. The challenging equation, that difficult equation of mathematics, referring to previous problems, replaying in her mind alongside. Are you noticing that? On one hand, she is doing what? Yoga. On the other hand, in her mind, she is solving that maths problem, that maths equation. Why? Because she got focused. She got what? Focused. Replaying equation, replaying, participle in the mind, alongside the sensation of her body stretching. On one hand, she is what? She replaying what? That maths exercise. Secondly, her body is what? Stretching. Body is what? Stretching means what? She relaxing. Her body is relaxing. And strengthening. Once again, stretching is what? Participle. Strengthening is what? Participle. Strengthening body. Stretching body. Am I clear? Relaxed body. All these are what? Adjectives. Participles for what? Body. Returning to her studies. Once again, what? Participle. Clear? Participle. With renewed determination. Once again, renewed is what? Participle. Up till now, the real sentence hasn't begun. Clear? What is it? Renewed determination. Sara tackled the problem. What is the real verb here, G? Tackled. Real problem is what? Real verb is what? Tackled, G. Sara tackled. What, G? The problem. How did Sara tackle the problem, G? Returning to her studies with renewed determination. Am I clear? How that returning to her studies renewed determination. Renewed determination she got how? By yoga on one hand, chirping of words. Clear? When her mind got focused, she revised that math equation. So the real sentence is here, she tackled the problem with fresh eyes. Previously she got stuck. Previously the problem of mathematics was complex. Now she got able to tackle it. The newfound clarity, once again newfound participle. Clear? The newfound clarity leading her to. Clear? Newfound participle. Leading once again participle. Leading her to what? A solution. Now what is the main verb here? Look at this now. The real main verb is here tackled. What is it? She tackled the problem. This is the real sentence. She tackled the problem. Now the answer to this how. These two phrases are there. First one is what? Returning to her studies with renewed determination. And number two is what? The newfound clarity leading her to a solution. Got it? Newfound reality. One thing. And second thing is what? Returning to studies with renewed determination. Now what? Are you getting my point? The real sentence is she tackles the problem. Number one, renewed determination. And number two is what? That newfound clarity. Newfound. You can rewrite it simply. She tackled the problem. How? With determination, renewed determination, and with newfound clarity. Got my point? These two participles are actually adding into what? How? How question. Next, smiling triumphantly. Smiling participle. She savored. She enjoyed. What is the verb here now? Savored. She enjoyed. The accomplishment. The mental workout proving. Clear? Proving once again participle. Just as rewarding, once again participle, as the physical one. As the physical. On one hand, she physically got what? Relaxed through what? Yoga and chirping of words. Physically she got what? Relaxed. Then mentally she got focused. Clear? So what is the real verb here? What she savored the accomplishment. She enjoyed the accomplishment of maths task. Once again, how? Two things are extra there or not? And using what? Participle. Using what? Participle. It means to say that finite verb can be there with addition. Clear? You can beautify your finite verb, or you can add extra meanings to that finite words through what? Participle, gerund or infinitive. And they are there with their own importance. So a question could be there, that Sarah got on one hand mental clarity, on other hand what? Physical relaxation. How? What is the answer? The answer is not there in finite verb. The answer is there both the time in infinite verb. What is the first one? Smiling triumphantly. Got it? Sorry, before that, what? Renewed determination, and secondly, newfound clarity. Am I clear up to here? Mean to say that finite verb is important to construct the basic structure. But infinites are also there to go for what? Extra detail. And sometimes those extra details become what? The main details. And finite verb goes in behind the scene. Though your basic structure is developed through on what? finite verb. But certain more important details are expressed not through finite verb, rather through what? Infinites. Am I clear up to here? Clear? It needs practice, Ji. As we did here, Ji. You can go for it at your home, Ji, or later on. Moving ahead, Ji. Then with certain modal verbs. Certain modal verbs. I think you need a short recap of that, of the previous one. Let me make it simple for you. For example, ji, she works to earn money. Shortly in simple words, ji, at lower level. This is the answer of what? Why? Am I clear? She works. Why? To earn money. Clear? You got the answer of why through what? Infinite. Or for earning money. Sorry, I went back. Clear, just for her, because she seemed a bit worried. Now are you relaxed? Look at this, that these are what? Finite verbs. Sometimes to add into finite verbs we use what? Infinites. Am I clear? For example, lower grade 1, grade 2. Got it, G? Then G, another thing, for example, G. She relaxed. She relaxed having a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee. Now, G, she relaxed. How? Here we got the answer what? G? Why? Here we are going for what? How? And I am getting the answer of this how using what? Participle. Using what? Participle. Mean to say that sometimes main information is depicted through finite verb. Sometimes even more important information is depicted through what? Infinites. Through what? Infinites. At lower level, clear, starting from grade 1, clear 2, 3, you can simply tell them that to find out the answers to these questions like why, how, we need to use what? G? Infinites. We need to use what? Infinites. Just like this. Clear? Why are you going there? To attend washroom, to bring my lunch, or for bringing my lunch. Clear? How did you complete your home task? Getting the help from mom. I finished my homework, getting the help from mom. Now this is what? Participle. Simple usage of that. Make them practice this one. Got my point, G? So it depends upon the level, G. When initially, this concept is there, G, that sometimes with main information, some extra, but more important information is depicted through what? Infinites. So these are mandatory to be learned, mandatory to be grasped. Moving ahead, G, with what, G? Modal verbs. As you people did there, G, finite verbs. But along with that, modals are also very important. For example, may, might, can, would, will, would, should, must, ought to. We are supposed to learn their usage, but usually there is a problem. Okay? I may take a start. In your screen you are having what? For example, may, might. Take a start with me. For example, why do we need to learn, or why do we need to make the learners know about the detailed usage of modals? What's the reason? Clear? The reason is simple. As we observed there in finite verbs, there were different types or not of the same structure. There were, for example, is, teaching is teaching, one structure. Is taught. What is taught here? English is taught here. Another structure. Clear? Is being taught. Another structure. Variety is there or not? Got my point? It's usually, for example, when we talk about was, second language learners stick to just one usage of was, and that is what? Past. Clear? But is this past or this past or this past, are all these same? These are different situations. No? We learned it there. This is what? Simple continuity. When I entered the room, he was teaching. Got my point, Ji? What was taught there, Ji? What was the topic of discussion? Where that language development was taught there. Language development was under discussion, Ji. Clear? Another situation. Now tell me, when you entered the room, exactly that time what was going on? What was going on? Model, or specifically in model, May was being taught. May was being, the structure of May was being taught. Clear? All these are different or not? What's the difference? Helping verb is what? Same. But verb forms are different. This one is what, Chi? Fourth form. This one is what, Chi? Third form. This one is what, Chi? Third form, but with the addition of what? Being or getting. In modern English we also use what, Chi? Getting. Was getting taught. Clear? Another one, Ji. For example, who was there, Ji? Who was there? Who was the instructor? Shams was the instructor, Ji. Am I using any verb after it? No. Are you getting another variety or not? Got it, Ji? Another one, for example, Ji. Was, to, then verbs first form, Ji. Where was she, Ji? Why wasn't she at home? She was to go to school, Ji, to attend the session. She was to go to school. This is for what, Ji? Why do we use was to and had to? The difference between was to and had to. I was to go there and I had to go there. What's the difference? Ma'am? Was to is for routine. When you daily go there, when it is your routine, you use what? Was to. Clear? When it is compulsion, you use what? Had to. I was to go to school, but due to some emergency, I had to go to, for example, some death is there, funeral ceremony. I was to go to school, but I had to take leave and I had to go to funeral. Another one is there or not? So how many types are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? When we talk about language development or being a teacher, being a language instructor, it's my responsibility to go for all these differences. But to know about all these differences separately is not the real thing, Ji. The real thing is practice all these things in text, in reading or in listening. Unless you understand all these, you can't use language correctly, make it clear, with maximum clarity or with absolute clarity. So were these differences there or not? There. So when these differences were there, clear, in our basic finite verbs, so there are certain differences in the usage of what? May. For example, first usage and usual usage that everybody knows that usually we use may for what? Possibility. Clear? The basic usage is of what? Possibility. And usually we use may for which two situations? Present and future. For both we use may. I may go now, I may go tomorrow. Got my point? As I told you there, when your finite verbs are clear, all the structures are clear. As I told you there, when your will structure is clear. When will is clear, all the models are there just like will. For example, simply, I will go. Got it? For continuity, I'll be going. Clear? For perfection, I will have sent. The same is case here. I may go. When confirmed, I'll go. When possibility, I may go. Is he going now? When confirmed, he will be going or he must be going. Clear? When possibility, he may be going. Is he doing his work? I'm not sure. I haven't seen him. He may be doing shayad. In Urdu we call it what? Shayad. Simple first usage. Shayad. Got it, she? And here, just like will, in active we use what? May and verbs, first form. And in passive we use what? She may be, third form. But the real thing is how to find it out in real text or real language. In oral listening mode or in reading mode. Wherever may is there, I am supposed to tell the learner the differences, the different usages of may. This one is simple usage of may or usual usage of may. Shayad main kal jaun, I may go. But look at this now. Secondly, this was also used for what? Direct pray. And both have no link. And even the arrangement or syntax is different. Here I have always used subject before this may. But in direct pray, I don't use subject before it. I take a start with may. For example, may you live long. May you live long. This is a prayer. But can I say that you may live long? What's the difference between may you live long and you may live long? May you live long is a prayer. And you may live long, it means that now you got the possibility. You may live or you may not live. Am I clear? When you are not sure about somebody's life, you are asking doctor. And the doctor is saying that he may live or he may not live longer now. This is possibility, this is not pray. What's the difference? What's the difference? Here you began with may. Here you didn't begin with may. You began with subject. Or your object, whom you are saying. Have you got it, she? Are these two different or not? This one is may, possibility, but this one is may, pray. Another one, the third usage, very important, very important. While language development in text, we are supposed to extract all these things, these differences. Separately, the way I am teaching, this is wrong. This is what? Wrong method. The real method is to do it as we did there previously in the text, in real life situation, in real language. Our problem is that we teach it separately and we don't make them practice through text, through reading or through listening. Got the point? Third usage is what one, G? Clear? To ask somebody to do some work. To ask for some work. To ask for something. Some deed, some action. Just like imperative. Just like imperative, in which you ask somebody. That usually for imperative we use what, G? Verb's first form. For example, open the door, bring water. But if I am saying it in a positive manner, polite manner, what would I say that? You may leave now. When I am saying leave now, that is a bit orderly form, less courteous form. If you want to be more courteous, some elder is there. Can you ask your father, leave now? No. You would simply say that you may leave now. Open your book. Okay, that is what? Bit orderly form. And you may open your book. Got it, Ji? For government, for example, Ji. Can you say that, Ji? Solve the problem. Or even when subject is there before that, government may solve the problems of public. Government may solve the problems of public. Now you are asking government in a courteous way. Now this is not possibility. This is not possibility. This is not at all possibility. This is not that shayad meaning. You are asking government. When I am asking you, you may focus on your book. Is it possibility? No. I am asking you. In other words, I am ordering you or I am requesting you or whatever you call it, clear, in a courteous manner. Can these be the same? Isn't it a huge difference between possibility and this one? It is now. It is one of the usages of what? May. This model. And the learners must know about these differences. This is their problem, that usually they just know about one general. And what is that general usage? That possibility, shayad. In previously direct prayer, for example, usually we say what? Get well soon. Get well soon. What is the appropriate? What is the complete sentence? You may get well soon. Sorry, not you may get well soon. May you get well soon. May you may get well soon. It means possibility. You may not. You may means also, you may also includes what? You may not. But may you get well soon, it means that I'm praying to God that may you get healthy soon. Is that clear, Ji? I mean to say that language development can never be there without making them practice all these differences from real situations. And these situations are there. While dealing with a textbook, somewhere may is there with what? Possibility. Somewhere it is what? Prayer. Somewhere it is what? Imperative sense. When you are asking somebody. But at first, you yourself must know about it. That what is the task? When it is not clear in your mind, clear? Simply that when you are not clear about all these differences, how will you yourself at first perceive that, okay, you are educated, you got it. How will you make them understand that may is there with different forms? May is there with a variety. At one place may is something else, at another place may is something else. Similarly, when I am saying it's past form, might for example, might is preferred to be used, though might is the past form of may. Might is usually the possibility and in what the past form. But remember that for past form it is better to use have form, because have is an element which usually we add with these past form. For example, should have. You should tell me now. You should have told me what? Yesterday. So it's better to use it with have form. Why? Because sometimes might is also used for present and future instead of may. How possibility past? For example, he might have come yesterday. He might have come yesterday, but I didn't see. If you are asking me, suppose somebody that did he come yesterday, and I'm not sure. I'm saying what he might have come yesterday, but I can't recall. He might have come means he might have come, he might not have come. Both the possibilities are there. So it's better to use it with what have form. And when your finite verbs are clear, finite verbs. In finite verbs, how do we go for the passive situation of have form? Whenever have form is there, how to go for the passive of have? Has or have or had or will have? We simply add been. We add what? Been. For example, if he had been taken to hospital on time, his life might have been saved. His life might have been saved. I'm talking about possibility. If he had been treated on time, his life might have been saved. Now I'm using it for what? Past possibility. Might have been saved means might have been saved and might have not been saved. Both the possibilities are there. Am I clear, ji? Now this is what? Past form of that shayad. Secondly, ji, we talk it for what? Ji? Indirect pray. What is it? Indirect pray. He prayed for me that I might live long. Now I'll not use have form here. I might live long. Is it possibility now? No. It's what? Indirect prayer. Got it, see? But third one, look at this now. Third one, that when sometime we use it instead of may. Instead of may means what? For present or for future. That is a question that when already for present and future, clear for possibility, clear we use may. Then why might? When more doubt is there. When more doubt and less possibility is there. For example, I may come tomorrow. Possibility is more. But when I'm saying that I might come tomorrow, now possibility is less. Now here I will not use that have form. Because have form, as we discussed there, is usually used for past. And whenever I'm using might for future, I'll use what is simple form without have. I may repeat the example. I may come tomorrow, possibility is more. I may come, I may not come. But possibility is more, possibility is higher. But when I'm saying that I might come tomorrow, that possibility is less. Doubt is more. I may come tomorrow, शायद मैं आऊं. More possibility. I might come tomorrow, मैं शायद ही आऊं. Now, don't you think that for language development, whenever there is the usage of may or might there in text, in reading form or in listening form, we are supposed to tell them all these differences. Can they learn, can they understand all these differences on their own through just listening, through just reading? Even if they can, it will take time. It needs years. Are you getting my point? What is my agenda? That certain people say that keep talking to them, they learn. I agree, I'm not negating it. Keep talking to them. Keep using language in front of them. By listening, they understand, they learn. I agree. But my question is regarding all these differences. Can they learn or can they distinguish, can they differentiate all these differences through just learning quickly? It takes time. It will take years. But when you are dealing with, obviously in our education system, we are dealing with language development through what? Text now. And in text, somewhere might is there with what? Past possibility. Somewhere might is there with what? Indirect prayer. Somewhere might is there for what? Future more doubt. I am supposed to tell the learner all these differences. Usually what do? We actually translate that given line and move ahead. And we just talk about the usage of, for example, might, whatever it is in that situation. We don't go for the differences. We are supposed to tell the differences. Then we are supposed to ask the learner, for example, these three usages are there. Then I am supposed to ask the learner now, let him decide that which might is being used there. Is that might for past? Is that might for indirect prayer? Or is that might with more doubt for future? Let the child decide. Let the learner decide on his own. It will serve two benefits. Number one, he'll get the variety of that. And number two, he himself will be able to decide that when some speaker is using might or when some writer is using might, with what meanings, with what intentions he is using might. Got my point? And that remained a problem. That's why in our education system, even after studying for 12 years, 14 years compulsory English, the students, the learners are unable to speak correct English. Where it's because of us. It's because of language instructors. That we had been translating those books. Clear? We had not been mentioning all these differences. Clear? We are not supposed to translate the thing for them. We are supposed to develop their skill so that they themselves may be able to translate on their own, comprehend on their own, interpret on their own. Got my point, Chi? The next one, for example, Chi. I'm just talking about the few important usages, Chi. I'm just that we are discussing what, Chi? Language development. Through what, Chi? Structures. Got it? Or through what, Chi? The language essentials. Is it getting tough? Some problem? Some issue? You need a break? Can you please? Okay, Ji, for example now, may might is clear, Ji. Clear? That another Ji, can quote. That you are all teachers, you know about it. For example, I'm just taking one example of that. Ji. Can everybody knows is there for what Ji ability? I can speak. This mobile can be, I can repair, but this mobile cannot be repaired. I have the ability to repair it, but mobile is with what she or so old that it cannot be repaired. But one usage, for example, that basically we use code for what she past, no? We use code for past. I can do it now. I could do it yesterday, or I could have done it yesterday. Is it so or not? Once again, it's better. Could is also past structure, but it's better to use it with have form. Why? Because could sometime is used for present or future. Okay, just like can. For example, that he works hard so that he could get success in future. Look at this now. Now I am using could for what? Future. Future possibility. Future ability. That usually it happens that can for present structure and future, and could is there for past. But sometimes could is also used there for future. The class I am dealing with, or the learners I am dealing with, must know about these differences. Got it, ji? This multiple usage of that one structure. Got my point, ji? Similarly, ji, would. Look at this would now. Everybody knows that basically will is the past form of would. Basically, past of will, sorry. Would is a past of will. She told me that she would not come. For example, respected ma'am, if you say,
I will not come.
she said what, she? Repeat it. She said what? I will not come. She said, I will not come. But I am, when in indirect expression, she talked to me directly. But when I am turning that direct expression into what? Indirect expression, I am supposed to use what? She would. She told me that she would not come. What did she say? I will not come. What am I telling you now? She told me that she would not come. That is a basic usage of would. But secondly, once again, it's a past possibility. In simple word, then you are calling it with mazi ka ga. Simply, though it's an absurd style of teaching language, okay, but just to give you an idea that some happenings are there for future and some happenings are there in past possibilities. Past possibility. For example, if somebody will go to Islamabad, Ali will go to Islamabad tomorrow. What did I say? Ali will go. But you are asking me about yesterday, that had he gone or did he go to Islamabad yesterday? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What would I say that? He would have gone, but I'm not sure, I don't know. And here we can also use must have. In this case, in this past possibility, we use both the structures, would and must. And must, you know that for compulsion. He would have gone, वो गया होगा. He must have gone, लाजमी गया होगा, मुझे नहीं पता, I don't know. The thief would have entered from the window. I'm talking about a possibility. You're asking me that he would have entered from where? I'm saying that I think that he would have entered from window. Somebody else is saying that no. He would have entered from that door. Got it, she? Are you noticing the differences? Third one, G. Once again, past possibility, but with mazi ka this the. So once again, I'm saying that this is absurd style, but it is better to clarify the concept through mother tongue. Make it clear. This is a problem in teaching methodology. Make one thing very clear, Chi. that concept must be clarified in mother tongue. If not mother tongue, at least in Urdu. Normal conversation must be there in English. We people go reverse. We try to clarify the concept in English and we converse in what? Urdu. And we expect them to develop their language. Usually in schools, I may repeat that concepts or subjects are taught there in English. Concepts are clarified in English. And normal conversation is there in Urdu. That is wrong. If needed, if concept is complex, concept must be clarified even in mother tongue, or at least in Urdu, or at least in some language familiar to the learners. But conversation must also always be there in what? English. We go over reverse. Usually, you must have observed. That's why I'm mentioning to clarify the concept. If I had money, I would have given it to you. If I had known, I would have called you. If I had known, I was not aware. Suppose you are complaining. You are saying that I didn't call you. And I am saying that respected, if I had known, I would have called you. I didn't know. I would have called you. Suppose you are complaining, Flan didn't come. Certain person didn't come in your party, in your meeting or whatever. I am asking you that, did you inform him? If he had known, he would have come. He would have come. And here once again you can use mafji. He would have come, wo aata. He must have come, wo lazmi aata. Slight difference of meaning ji. But are you noticing the difference of word ji? Then ji, fourthly, though there are many ji with combination of word, if I were a bird ji, I would fly in the sky all the time. That is also there. Would that I had been there, I would have helped him. If I were you, I would forgive him. These are all the examples of this third possibility. But I am going for what ji? Fourth now ji. That sometime we use it for future instead of will. Instead of will. And it happens there when desire is involved or possibility is involved. When it is confirmed, ji, then I will say you will go. When I am not confirmed, when there is possibility, then I would use what ji? You would go. He would go. This is for what? Possibility. And desire ji. If I am asking you that, ask him, would he go there or not? What does it mean? Would he like to go there or not? Would he wish to go there or not? That's why we use tea. What would you take? Tea or cold drink? When I'm sure, when it is confirmed, then I use what? Will. Ma'am Aisha will go there. This is what? Confirmed. And when I'm not sure, when there is possibility, then I would say what? Ma'am Aisha would go. I hope she would go. And thirdly, if you are asking me, sir, at least at first you should confirm whether she would go or not. What does it mean? Whether she would like to go or not. Got it, Ji? Now, are you noticing the different usages? I'm just mentioning few to just get an idea that how language is developed. And it is done through what? Once again, the real language. Both in oral form, listening, or in written form. And listening, as I told you, that it's a bit tough, it's difficult. If you have the possibility to pause the audio, then you can go for it. Otherwise, how will the child differentiate that whether you are talking about this word, this word, this word, or fourth word? Is it possible for them? Specifically for children. Am I clear, ji? Is it grammar? No, not at all. These are all what? Structures. Structures from where? Real situations. And real situations are where? In their textbooks. Throughout their textbook, these differences are there. It's our duty to spot out these differences and make them realize that for example, in first instance, in certain situation, this word was there. In second situation, this word was. In some other situation, whatever the usage of would is there, I'm supposed to clarify it. But even if one usage is there, I'm supposed to give them what? All the differences. Then I'm supposed to ask them. Now, you may infer that which word is being used there. Whether first one or second one or third one or fourth one. So in this way, they will learn quickly. Got it, chi? Is that clear? Similarly, the structure of what, chi? Should. That is also suggestive. Must, compulsory, ought to, moral obligation. And once again, the structure of all these, that is important. Which verb form is to be used after them? As I told you that all these have the same G. Will, would, may, might, can, could, would, should, must, ought to. All these have the same structures, like will. For example, simple active situation is there. I'll use what? May, first form. I will go, I may go. Am I clear, ji? Will be going, may be going, can be going, would be going, must be going, ought to be going, should be going, must be going. Sometimes they know about the structure or the meanings of structure. They don't know about the verb form. Which verb form is to be used after them? For example, I enter, your examinations are close. Clear? And I'm saying that you should not be watching TV now. You should not be wasting your time now. You must be what? Studying. This is what? Continuity. Progressive form of what? Should and must. From where I got this? That basic chart. 24. As I told you there, as I announced there, I said that whole session is there on YouTube. Am I clear? All the languages developed through there. Through those 9 or 24 structures. Am I clear? Tomorrow, this time, he'll be leaving for some foreign country. He'll be leaving. Then will be leaving, ing. From will be ing, I use what? Should be ing. Must be ing. Ought to be ing. It is your moral obligation that you ought to be helping your fellows. You ought not to be hiding your knowledge from them. You ought to be sharing. Am I clear? Got the point, Ji? Clear? That's all for today, Ji. Next session, we'll practice, Ji, through text. All these structures. And further, we'll go for what, Ji? Next, after that, the usage of noun, then the practical application of pronoun, then the practical application of adverb or conjunction, clear? From real situations.